So now we're going to talk about the Albatross Kit. The Albatross Kit is a Matrix 908 with an IC45 and a PLP module to give you individual nozzle on and off at each nozzle. So I'll show you the components, how they kind of install. So everything's laid out here. It's not mounted perfectly yet. So down in here we have power down in here that goes to your tractor power box and to your Matrix 908. This tractor power box is your isobus connection plug that will go back here to your IC45. So this is your IC45 rate controller that can be mounted in any orientation as long as the plugs down here do not face vertical, do not face up. It can be mounted sideways or with them down. Any of those is fine. Same with your PLP module. Your PLP module as well can be mounted in any orientation as long as the plugs do not face up. So the IC45 with this harness here will go back to the front to your manifold, and it will connect to your pressure transducer, to your flow meter, and to your regulating valve. And in this case, our regulating valve is a bypass regulating valve. So those are the three connections you use. You'll see that you have some more connections on here that you're not using, or maybe you do use them depending on what it is. This would be for a PWM pump, and the other one would be for a master switch if you wanted to be tied into excuse me, either a toggle switch or a foot switch or something like that. You could use that with your master switch. So we'll show some more of the connections back here on your valve bodies. You've got these solenoids right here that turn your spray on and off, and those connections come from the PLP module over here. So if you look at this PLP module over here if you're looking at the label, the far left is where you begin, and you'll notice these are all labeled, and you've got out 1, 5, 9, out 2, 6, 10, and all that, and it may not make sense, but when you're going into plug number one, you have number 1 goes all the way to the far left end, number 2 goes to the next, number 3 to the next, number 4 to the next. And then when you get on this center harness, you'll notice they're all labeled the same too. But now we're using the center number. So we used 4 on the first one, and then we'll use where'd he go? There he is. We'll use number 5, and then number 6, 7, 8, and then the same thing when you get to this last harness. Then you'll go to the last number. You'll use number 9, number 10, and number 11, and you just won't utilize number 12 unless you have 12 nozzles. In our scenario, we only have 11 nozzles, so we'll just stop at number 11. So we'll go up here to the 908, and we'll walk you through how the setup of this system goes. So you've got your 908 powered on. We're going to hit our hamburger menu here, universal terminal, and this is our IC45 run screen. So we'll hit our menu button, and then we'll go to machine, advanced settings. The first thing you want to do is tell it what sensors you have. We have a flow sensor and a pressure sensor. We want to make sure those are turned on. We have our implement parameters. We're a crop sprayer, and we have 11 sections. You can have up to 12. Our machine geometry. So we are a self-propelled with the boom on the rear, and if you don't understand what this measurement is, you can hit the information button and it tells you. So that's going to be from the center of the non-steerable axle, the pivot point, back to the boom, and ours is 39 inches. We'll go back. Our valve setup, we are a bypass valve, and we want our section valves, which are every one of our nozzle valves, we want them to follow the master. So when the master is turned off, it will also close, or when the section valves close, the regulating valve will. So we have a bypass regulating valve, and our section valve behavior needs to be on follow master. So when the master is turned off, all of the section valves will turn off. That was our valve set up, our tank set up. We have a 200-gallon tank. Minimum tank content, you set that however you please. We're set here to 5.3 gallons. Our regulation details, these are all by default numbers, and I would recommend leaving those in there unless we need to go make a change if your machine is not functioning properly, and then you can contact T-Jet support to figure out how to make changes to those, or your local dealer, either one. But we'll go to the page button here. As you can see, we went from 1 of 2 to 2 of 2. And one thing you do want to go in here is put a minimum speed of 0.1 miles an hour. That's to make sure that the sprayer actually has to be moving before it will start spraying. So 0.1 miles an hour is a very low bar, but works well. So then we're just going to hit our house and then back into our menu again. We'll go to our machine, our job settings, and we're going to go to our machine profile. And the first thing you want to do here is set your nozzle spacing. We are on a 20-inch nozzle spacing. Hit accept, and then you'll set your section width, which we are also on 20. So I'll just show you an example of how you can set this up. Let's say we're on a 15. Hit accept, and then you can hit this button right here and it will copy those all the way across. You can see all these changed all the way out to our section 11. They're all 15 now. But now that since we're on 20, I'm going to set our machine back properly. Hit accept, copy them over, and then we're going to menu back. You should not mess with the shorten section width or any of that. Leave those as default values. Sorry, I pushed the button twice. We're going to go back into, after our machine profile, we'll go to our operation. Your speed source. You want your speed source on automatic. That way it will utilize the GPS speed source that's coming in. Most likely it's going to be on implement or trackmatic. You just hit your page flip button here and you find automatic, you select it. Now we're on automatic. And this is where you'll also set your simulated speed. So you've got a low and a high, so a 3.7 and a 5.6. If, you know, well, when I spray at 8 miles an hour or try to spray at 8 miles an hour, that's fine. Change your upper to 8. No problem. We'll go menu back. Our regulating parameters here, leave these as default values unless you have an issue to where your regulating valve is oscillating and it won't get on target rate and stay on target rate. And then we can come in here and make an adjustment to either the coarse calibration or the fine calibration, either speed that valve up or slow that valve down to get it to be more stable on target rate. So we're going to go, I hit the menu button again. We're going to hit machine, our nozzle presets. So this system will spray with using the flow meter to know how much it's putting out, unless you get down to like a 1 or 2 nozzle scenario and you get down the flow below what the flow meter is capable of. The EM flow meter that's on here is capable from 0.6 gallons per minute to 100 gallons a minute. So there's a wide range there, but it is possible to get down below that 0.6 when you're talking about individual nozzles. So we need to make sure that we know which nozzle we have. In our case, we've got an AIXR T-Jet, and you can select that and you can go through the pages here to figure out which nozzle you have. If for whatever reason you're running your own nozzle, you can select a general or a user nozzle, and then you can go define all of your settings from there. The settings I'm talking about are right here, so you will need to tell it what your capacity is. So we've got an 08, which is a white nozzle, and all of the rest of these values are default because all of the T-Jet information is already loaded in here. If you're using your own, you will need to put this information through here. So the page flip button I'm pushing here, as you can see, nozzle preset 1 of 5. You can do 5 different nozzles at a time. So you push that, and now you can set up another nozzle, same way as you would on the first screen there. So we'll back up, and then we'll go to calibrations. Our flow sensor is 1500 impulses per gallon. It's on the tag of the flow meter. Our low limit is 0.6 gallons and our high limit is 100 gallons. All that information is also on the tag of the flow meter. Oops, sorry, pushed the wrong button there by accident. We'll go menu back, and then your pressure sensor. So calibrate no pressure. You'll hit this little calibrate button here. No pressure You can read this. It just means make sure the machine the machine can be running, but you don't want your pump running. You don't want to be spraying. You don't want to have any pressure on your system. You'll hit calibrate, and I've already calibrated mine, so my numbers aren't changing. And then your maximum pressure, you'll set a reference pressure, say here at 73. It's kind of hard to read 73 on a gauge, so you could set it to 70, accept. And then your maximum pressure, you have a 145 max PSI pressure gauge that's in there. And then in this scenario, when you hit the calibration button, you would turn your pump on, and the plus and minus increases or decreases your bypass valve, so that would increase or decrease your pressure until you get your reference pressure. So on your manual gauge, you want it to read 70 PSI, and then you would hit the check mark, and that would change your actual pressure value. And that would calibrate your high end. The high end doesn't necessarily have to be the highest pressure your system can get up to, but I would recommend trying to get it up to around that 70 PSI range. From here, we're going to go back to our run screen, and here we have to turn sections on and off manually. We have virtual switch box, so you can press here, turn section 1 off, 2 off, 4 off, however you would like, and then you can turn them right back on if you need to. Hit the X, that gets it to go away. Here's the right side of the machine. Here's your nozzles. So if you push this, we can change between our nozzle presets. So we have that one selected as well. And as you can see, this bar graph down here changed. So up top is your speed, and at the bottom is your expected pressure. So the rate controller, as I was referring to earlier, was if you get down below the flow of your flow meter, it'll change over to pressure. This is what it'll work off of, but it also acts as a cross check. So let's say we're doing 13 miles an hour, we should be putting out running roughly 30 psi at 20 gallons to the acre of target rate. So the machine is giving you a reference there, so when you look down, this little red dot you see will be moving over, going off of your speed, and it's showing you what your pressure should be at that speed. So where you've got your gallons per acre up here, everything but the miles per hour you can change. So you've got 3 different pages of things here that you can change. Right now we've got that one on actual application rate. Down here it's on acres. It's all the same 3 pages that you can go through. The briefcase right here is where you go set your target rate. So our target rate right now is at 20. If I was to change that, let's change it to 30, accept. It still shows you your nozzle there. So see, our bar graph changed. A while ago at 13 miles per hour, we were supposed to be at 30 psi, and you can see how much it's changed. Should be in that roughly 70 psi range now. But that's done through the briefcase where you change your application rate. The rabbit and turtle slider you see here is your simulated speed. So when I push it, you'll see the simulated speed. There we go. It's trying to turn on. Problem is I'm sitting under a shop with my GPS hooked up, so it's kind of jumping around, thinks we're moving and we're not. And this rabbit and turtle, once you've turned that one on, will go between your fast simulated speed you set earlier and your slow simulated speed you set. So that would cycle between. Whichever one is green is which one you're on. This is your master spray switch. So green, it's turned on. Gray, they're turned off. So that's master switch. This button here flips you to another page, and these are to cut sections on and off if you wish with this instead of using the. So we started cutting them off from the left, now we're cutting them off from the right. This turns them back on, and you can do that, or you can use the virtual switch box, or a combination of the both. It doesn't really matter. And this is your automatic and manual button, running in automatic for automatic rate control. If you want to push this button and change it to manual, then you can manually increase or decrease. You'll hear your reg valve over there moving. You may not can hear that on video, but the reg valve is moving, and you can manually set it to a pressure or whatever, but it won't be automatic then. So the application rate that it'll be putting out will be a manual one, and you can put it back in auto, and it'll drive itself back to your application rate that you have defined. These are rate step numbers. I honestly don't, they are set up. I don't know at what percentage, but if you'll watch right here, when I push the target rate step button, see it's jumping up. So you can do that. You can set those numbers to however you want, and then you can always zero and go back. Be careful setting these. I typically try not to set a rate step, because if somebody accidentally tries to reach over here and hit the master switch and you accidentally bumped it down, now we're, you know, 1.5 gallons per acre less, and that could happen multiple times over the day. Next thing you know, you're not putting out near what you're supposed to. So I would be real careful pushing those buttons. So this is the run screen set up with the IC45. Once you've got all that set up, you're ready to go start you a new job, open you a field, and then you can utilize the UT button that's kind of grayed out down here right now to be able to go back and forth between your field and the universal terminal screen.